Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the RedRaiders.com show, brought to you by University Medical Center. I'm Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal, alongside AJ Media sports writer Carlos Silva Jr. We are coming to you again from Hoover High School, home of the Hoover Buccaneers, 13-time state champions, and this is also practice headquarters at least, for the Texas Tech Red Raiders in preparation for the Birmingham Bowl that comes up on Saturday. Texas Tech preparing for South Florida, number 23, South Florida, an 11 a.m. kickoff on Saturday. And Carlson, one of the storylines that's kind of developing this week is the weather. Now, out here right now and out here yesterday, it's been, in my estimation, ideal conditions, perfect football weather. I mean, you got to have a nice overcast day, completely calm. We have not felt a bit of wind hardly the entire time we've been here.
Well, not only that, but then a couple days ago, yesterday, there was a little bit of precipitation on the actual field, so it didn't rain at all. So it's been very dry so far.
And also, ideal temperatures is about 60 degrees yesterday, about 55 degrees, I think. Now, Red Raiders just finished their practice about a hour or so ago this morning. But Carlos, on Saturday, rain. It's been overcast with not much falling on Saturday. Forecast calls for a 90% chance of rain, and so we asked Cliff Kingsbury this week, or asked Cliff Kingsbury today, have you guys practiced with a wet football? Because it sounds like it could be raining throughout the game on Saturday.
Well, I know one thing Deshaun Johnson said, obviously the safety for the Texas Tech football team. He said it's football weather. I mean, he's going to be excited that there's going to be some heads banging, and then, of course, he's kind of alluding to the fact that they may run the ball, and obviously USF will run the ball with Quintin Flowers, a very dynamic quarterback that can use his legs. He's their leading rusher. Of course, Deshaun Johnson, and that defense will look to slow them down, but it'll be interesting to see how Texas Tech kind of plays this, because they're kind of known for their passing offense, but you still have some guys in Justin Stockton and Trey King that can run the ball as well.
Yeah, and again, I asked Cliff Kingsbury a while ago, with the forecast being for rain throughout the day on Saturday, have you practiced with the wet football this week? Cliff said, we've done that in the past, but have not done that this week. Said Nick Shimanek feels comfortable, thinks he'll be okay if it is raining during the game, and so they haven't gone to that extreme. Even though they have done it in the past. But that's kind of what you're looking at for Saturday. You had an opportunity yesterday to go over to South Florida's camp. They're working out at Birmingham Southern. What observations did the Bulls make about Texas Tech?
Well, the biggest thing that they were talking about was, at least from the defensive side, they're very interested to see how the offensive line is, just because of how they've developed into a more physical, more dominating type offensive line. And their defensive line against the offensive line could really dictate the way that things happen, especially if, like you said, it does rain and you have to get those running plays, especially with the way that Jack Anderson has played. I know he was obviously mentioned as a very good player just starting off, and now he started 12 games for the Texas Tech football team. And then, of course, on the offensive side, they're looking forward to a very physical type football team, that being Texas Tech, especially with the fact that they're going to have to make sure that they don't create any turnovers against them, just because of the way that Texas Tech has been able to kind of work under David Gibbs.
Yeah, with Red Raiders with 27 turnovers gained, the most that Texas Tech team has had since 2000 is 29 turnovers gained. And Deshaun Johnson mentioned today, I had not researched this, but he said when they have gotten 2 turnovers in a game this year, they're undefeated. I believe, if I remember Deshaun, if I remember.
Well, and not only that, but I think earlier on this season, I don't know if it was Deshaun, but another defensive player also said that they're undefeated when they win the turnover battle, and that's certainly something that you have to do. And as David Gibbs kind of quipped during his press conference to kind of announce his new contract extension with Texas Tech, is the fact that when you get those turnovers, your defense looks a lot better than what it normally would. But, of course, everyone kind of knows that the defense is certainly much more improved with the type of players he's brought in, and then just the ability to kind of create those turnovers and the fumbles that has helped the offense get the ball back.
Yeah, and going to have some of those. Again,
Yes.
I know we've kind of beat it to death, but Quintin Flowers is the guy that scares you, I think. And he's a guy that was a big get for South Florida. We were just talking about recruiting yesterday with the early national signing period, and looking at Quintin Flowers' bio. He was a guy who could have gone to a lot of places, big-time Power 5 programs, in South Florida got him, and, of course, he has been something else for them. The thing that jumps out to me is you look at his rushing statistic last year, and he had 1,530 yards rushing, and so David Gibbs is going to have to devise a plan to, and I don't think they slow him. I don't think you stop him. Cliff Kingsbury said that today, but you got to devise a plan, I think, to try to keep him from popping off 30, 40, 50-yard gains, taking it the distance.
And then, of course, Charlie Strong kind of mentioning the fact that he did have a really good team that, of course, Willie Taggart recruited, so that's certainly a name that everyone kind of remembers. Of course, he was at Oregon, now he's at Florida State, but he was a guy that really kind of got most of this team really set up, and Charlie Strong, being the coach that he is, was able to coach up the players and get to the 9-2 record that they have right now. But I guess, Don, just kind of wrapping things up, I guess when you kind of see what the guys are talking about this week, I guess what are some of the keys that you're kind of looking forward to as we talk to them in a more press conference type fashion on Friday?
Well, I think, and I've been to a bunch of these, so many bowl games are determined not necessarily by who is the best team, but who is the team that wants to be there, and who is the team that wants to play football when they get there, because you have all the outside activities, and you have a couple of things a day that the players are asked to go participate in away from football. And my question is, Cliff Kingsbury has said that these first couple of days of practice that he feels good about their approach, their, I guess, mentality.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. There you go. My question is, I have a question if South Florida, how excited they are to be there, or if they are, because they played in a conference championship game and lost to UCF, their rival, by 49-42. I'm sure they had designs on being a 10-1 football team and being in a more preferred locale. So I think that's a question that will maybe get answered early in the game on Saturday. Is USF pumped to be here, or is it kind of a letdown for them to be here, which could give Texas Tech an edge?
Not only that, but then it's their second time here, so it's not like it's
second year in a row. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not like it's just a different type bowl atmosphere that they're at. It's the same exact bowl. They kind of know the routine. They've already kind of done all the things as you just mentioned, the bowling, obviously the hospital visit today, so they're already kind of used to that fact. But certainly we'll find out a lot at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
And we might touch on that just real quickly.
Sure.
These two teams have already competed against each other. As last night at the Vestavia Bowl, which is in Vestavia Hills, Alabama, another suburb just south of here. Red Raiders in South Florida competed in a bowling competition,
which you live tweeted.
Six players on each team, and the Red Raiders come out with the victory, 762 to 726.
Which was a nice comeback from what you mentioned. A bunch of spares were made, and then Jashawn Johnson mentioned that it was a freshly oiled, lane, so I guess that kind of played into things. So you guys got really deep into the bowling type lingo for my taste.
I've watched a little bit of bowling. I'm not a bowler. I'm not much of a bowler myself, but I've watched a little bit of bowling. I know it can take your top-level bowlers time to adjust to the oil pattern, because there's different oil patterns used on different lanes. And Jashawn did not bowl his best game last night, and he said I think nobody had bowled on those lines yesterday because it was closed for that private event. And so he said it took him a little time to get his hook down to where he could hit the pocket. But Red Raiders had some people bowling that they had a half a dozen guys that had obviously was not their first time to do it, because Skylar Cassidy, the defensive GA, bowled I think it was a 150 something. Antoine Wesley had a hot streak there.
A nice little hook too.
Nice little hook too for him. Jacob Hines, the big offensive lineman. They said Jacob Hines actually just kind of took up bowling recently. It was about his fifth time, but he broke 100 for him. And Carl Scott had his moments, the defensive backs coach, and then Cam Batson made close some frames out for him.
He did.
And I think I'm forgetting the sixth person.
Well, I mean, you were live tweeting it. If you want to check that out, you can always check him out on Twitter at AJ_Don Williams. He has all that information, oil patterns, kind of anything else you want to get on Twitter about bowling.
But anyhow, they visited the Civil Rights Institute yesterday as well, and then today is the visit to the Children's Hospital, and what is coming up tonight?
And then there's going to be a comedy club
visit for them tonight. That's right. Okay. We need to get out of here. We've kept you long enough. We appreciate you listening and watching, as always. Carlos and I have some more. We will be going back and writing it all up.
You'll be writing on your birthday.
That's right. It's my birthday today. Thank you very much. Lubbock. And it'll be on LubbockOnline.com, RedRaiders.com throughout the day, tomorrow, and throughout the week as we continue here from Hoover, Alabama, in preparation for the Birmingham Bowl, 11 a.m. Saturday, Texas Tech against South Florida. For our engineer, producer, Mark Rogers, and for HA Media Sports writer Carlos Silva Jr., I'm Don Williams. This has been another edition of the RedRaiders.com football show. Brought to you by University Medical Center. We'll talk to you again soon.